Hey everybody. So getting my Facebook Live, and Instagram Live going together. Why we can't do these simultaneously? Facebook, please. You own Instagram. Can't you make a button where we just press live and we go live on both? Because it's hard to look at Instagram and at Facebook at the same time. But anyway, I'm here. Hi everybody. So here's what I want to talk about today. It's been a minute since I talked to you live. I hope everybody's good. Hi to all my friends joining and all my Designing members. I see some of you. Okay, so here's what I've been thinking a lot about. And I just recorded a bonus podcast episode that will come out probably Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm waiting to hear from Pavel, my podcast editor. I keep sending him stuff, and thankfully he's so busy. Like, this has just been so good for his business, which I absolutely love. Hello. Hi, everybody. Hi, Christy. So anyway, I've been thinking a lot, and I just did a bonus episode about this very thing, and I knew I had to go live and talk about this too. And what I want to talk about is the fact that the coronavirus did not cause our current business problems, if we're being perfectly honest with ourselves, right? And I posted that earlier, and I had several of you comment and send me DMs that were like, I know, I've been thinking that too. I'm glad somebody's going to talk about this. I'm glad you are saying this. And so what do I mean? Well, yeah, the coronavirus is horrible. It's awful. And it is causing a lot of problems for a ton of businesses out there. And I totally get that. So it does have its own set of problems. I'm not pretending like it's not a problem. That's not at all what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that the majority, sorry, I got to plug in my computer. The majority of the problems that we have in our business right now, we're here 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, a month ago, 6 weeks ago. They were here before the coronavirus. And a lot of them, if we're being honest, were here in the last recession, which has now been 10 or 11 years ago, right? And in the moments of feeling the pain and the scarcity and the suffering and the fear, and all of that is so real and so visceral and so true, we can sometimes get leverage on ourselves to do the work that we need to do in our businesses. But so often, the minute that those circumstances are changed, or they kind of go back to normal, or we get used to them, we don't do the work to really change what the problems are, right? So, hi, everybody. I know this is a serious topic. You can always count on me to be serious, right? Why can't I just be having fun with you guys? I don't feel like that's my role. I feel like my role is to be honest, to be truthful, to shine the flashlight where it needs to be shown on our businesses. Is that the right grammar? To really help us look at and fix once and for all these problems. So when I was thinking about this, and I just did a very, very straightforward bonus podcast episode, that the minute it's ready, I will tell you guys and you can listen to it, but I'll give you kind of some of the synopsis of it here today. I was thinking our problems were already here, right? So many of you. Thank you. Thanks for liking my earrings. Okay, so the problems were already here. The financial problem, if you're barely hanging on by a thread with your finances, you were barely hanging on by a thread 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 6 months ago, potentially, right? Your entire business, as long as you've been open. And just skating by, not really making money, not really having a viable, sustainable business model. A lot of you still having what I would call a hobby business or a jobby, which is fine if that's what you want to have and you can afford to have that. And you get to decide how much money you make in the world, how much money you charge, how you show up, how you run your finances, how you run your business. But the thing is, I want to make sure that we're clear that we're not blaming the coronavirus for these business problems. That we're not, I was thinking about it again, and the ways that we don't show up so often as creatives and small business owners, or with our finances, with our schedule and our follow through, doing what we say we're supposed to do, all of which is mindset stuff, which we'll talk about in a second. And with our business models and how we charge and our fear around charging our worth. And what I'm seeing a lot of people do right now, which doesn't surprise me at all, because it's exactly what happened in the recession in 08 and 09, is I see people immediately dropping their prices, which I think is the wrong thing to do, the absolute wrong thing to do, in my opinion. And I've even heard I've been on some other lives and heard some people in the industry say, cut your prices, let your clients know that you're, build trust with them and let them know that you're willing to cut your prices. And that's not at all what I think is the right thing to do. I watched that happen in 08 and 09, and I watched it kill the interior design business and a whole lot of other creative businesses. That's not to say that I don't recommend you meeting your client where they are, and that I don't think you should consider switching up at your offerings and maybe having some new offering that is less of a buy-in for them. But not that you're taking something that was your hourly rate and slashing it and charging less, because I feel like we've just worked for 10 years to get back to people believing in yourselves and charging your worth. And I don't really see how 3 weeks ago you were worth one amount and now you're worth another amount. The only reason that would be the truth is because of your thinking, okay? So do I think we need to meet our clients where they are? Yes, absolutely. Do I think that they may or probably aren't wanting the exact services we were selling just a few weeks ago? Yes, I completely think that. But I already thought in a lot of ways we weren't meeting our clients where they were. That's why I've been talking about for 2 or 3 years to create online offerings or mid-range offerings, and that there's an entire world of space underneath your highest one-on-one offering. That does not mean lower the price of that one to get other people in it, because they're just not a fit for it. Like, that's not what they want from you. But to be open to figuring out who it is you're really serving, what they really need, and meeting them at that point with a price and an arrangement and a way of working that is a win-win for both of you, that doesn't devalue your price, that doesn't just slash your prices, and that does not give you away at your fullest one-on-one offering for less than what you're worth. Okay, so let's just start there. I don't think that we should be dropping our prices, but I do think you have to be considering other ways of working with people. So I'm not saying you don't have a lower priced offering, but it might be a combination of some online work you do, or meeting them in a different way, some type of Zoom call or something that's literally not your soup to nuts offering at a lower price. And I can't read all of your comments, sorry, when I'm teaching, and I see somebody saying, I've seen business owners being bullied or shamed on social media for not offering free. Yeah. So here's the thing. There's two sides to this. I also think you absolutely can. I hear people saying, don't give anything away for free. Give a whole bunch away for free. This is free right now that I'm giving you, my advice. But I also am still charging for a lot of other work. So you absolutely can meet people where they are and give things for free and build trust, but know what your free things are that help people, and know what your paid offerings are, and don't get confused, and don't be ashamed to charge the value of all your offerings, and don't believe that just because this is happening that there's nobody who wants your top-end service, because there are still people who will want that. And there will be people who want something in the middle, and there are people who want something maybe for free or less expensive. And those people can still add value to your business too in a lot of ways. And this message is no different from the message I was teaching 3 weeks ago, 3 months ago, 2.5 years ago when I started my Design You coaching program, because I believe in this approach of value ladders and offering things for free that get people results ahead of time, that lead them into, at least a portion of them, into your paid offerings. Okay. So there's a whole framework around how to do this. But what is not going to work is for us to just immediately slash all of our prices. Okay, so that's kind of our first response. The other thing I hear a lot of people talking about is, okay, now if you're not going to lower your price, then just spend your time doing stuff that you've been wanting to do. And I get that to a point, and I do have some ideas of some things that I think you should be spending your time on, but let's talk about that for a minute. Because it's also not feasible to just be like, well, I can't lower my price of my high-end offering, so I guess I'll just sit and make no money, which is also not an option for most of us, because I can't sell that thing, the only thing I know how to sell, at a lower price. I guess I just can't work until I wait for somebody to come along. And that's not true either. So you have to get creative and see how to meet people where they are and what they really need. And us all as interior designers or event planners or whatever creative industry you're in, just trying to say the same message, especially interior designers, of now you're home more than ever. That's not going to make people suddenly value what we're selling when they're literally worried about how to make ends meet, how to keep their jobs, how to homeschool, how to set up home offices, and a whole bunch of other things, right? So we have to learn to meet people where they are. So yes, to creating new offerings, and at the same time, yes, to doing stuff that was on your to-do list, sort of, but I don't want you to be fooled into thinking that cleaning up and organizing your sample room or launching your new website is going to suddenly make you have the business 6 months from now that you want to have, because that's why I'm talking to you about this today, because I think the problems we have in our businesses were already there, and that's the stuff that I would be working on right now in your downtime. I would be working on, why have I still not gotten my finances in order? Not just how to get them in order. It's not the how to that's the problem. It's not, I think, okay, your finances, your schedule, and your business model all need to be in order. But the problem is not that you haven't read the right book or taken the right course or anything like that. The problem is your mindset about it. And this is what my podcast episode is about, because I really feel like there's about 5 things. I talk about them in the podcast episode that'll be out any moment now, and I will tell you when it's out. I promise. I'm alluding to it a lot. But the problem is the way we think. And the problem is that we're not willing to be uncomfortable. And the problem is that we're not willing to fail at things until we get them right. And so I watch so many creatives continue to run businesses that aren't making any money and that aren't sustainable. Continue to just ignore your finances and believe you're bad at it and you're bad at money and you just don't know what they mean, so you're not willing to look at them, which means you're not willing to be uncomfortable or fail at them or learn. I watch people, I've had so many people this week say, I'm so mad at myself, because people that have either been in my coaching program and they've learned about creating scalable offerings and they know how to do it, but they haven't done it yet, or people who've been considering working with me and they haven't gotten in there yet. And they're like, I'm so mad at myself. And I'm like, well, that doesn't do you any good right now, because when we get mad at ourselves and beat ourselves up for not having done something, we just exacerbate the negative mindset that doesn't move us forward. But I also think the deeper work that you should be doing is, why haven't I done something? Why haven't I fixed my finances? Why do I still not show up and follow through on my schedule or what I'm supposed to do? Why am I still believing that I don't have time to work on my business, just in it, but not on it? Why am I still resisting learning new ways of working together? Why did it take a pandemic for me to believe that there was an opportunity to work long distance or online or meet my clients where they are or do digital marketing or any of those kinds of things that we thought, I don't want that. That's not fun. I just want to be in my creative industry and have all the stuff that I, got in it for. I want to I kind of want to play office, right? Play business. I want to have the pretty pictures and the pretty website, and I want to get a product line, and I want to get published, and I want to get a lot of gold stars and a lot of validation for the fun parts of the business. Yet I'm going to keep ignoring the actual business part of the business, the money, the showing up and doing what we're supposed to do. I'm going to keep ignoring that, because at some level I have a sense of really we almost have an entitlement to the fact that all of our time should be spent either getting gold stars for our clients, which looks a lot like people pleasing most of the time and isn't really doing the stuff in our business that we need to do, or we have an entitlement to, if it's not creative and fun and inspirational and I'm not motivated, then I don't feel like doing that work right now. And so I'm not going to do it. And this is really the shift in mindset from running our business like emotional children versus running our business like emotional adults. And it's the difference in what makes successful people, or sort of successful people, the ones that look successful on the outside, but when something like this happens, they're hanging on by a thread because they haven't done the work on their mindset so they can do the work in their business, versus the ones who actually have done the work in their business because they're willing to show up and do the monotonous and the boring and be disciplined about the finances and the working on the business and all the things that somewhere in the back of your head, you're now like, why didn't I do that? Or why do I not ever do that? Why don't I show up in that way? And we want to tell ourselves it's something like, I'm just not that kind of person. And creatives just aren't disciplined. And we have to feel inspired to do things, which is all a bunch of BS that are just thoughts that don't move us forward at all. And they created the problems, not the coronavirus. Our thinking created the problems. The problems were there already. But the coronavirus or a recession or a big shift in technology or our industries or people, our vendors selling direct to consumers, any of those big, gigantic changes exacerbate these issues. They pull the rug out from under us. And when we're on shaky ground already in our finances or the way we're showing up or how we're running things, then we're in a whole lot of trouble when that happens, right? And that's why a lot of you have heard me say, and you've heard other people say, so many businesses are literally 1 or 2 months from being completely broke. And it's because of the way you're running your business, the way you're showing up in your business. And the answer is not to run out and find an action to take. There are a lot of actions that will come from it. But the work is not in just do more or do something else. We've already been trying that. Like, that's why we're all exhausted, right? We're just trying to do all the things. The answer is in changing the way you think, completely changing the way you think. And changing the way you think and calling yourself out, really, and becoming, not in a mean way, like compassionately calling yourself out, but admitting and taking responsibility for where you consistently don't show up, don't follow through, don't do the work of a business person regularly, not a business person, a lot of business people run their businesses like this, but don't do the work that the successful business people do to follow through on their finances and their business models and the way they charge and their invoicing and the prices they charge and meeting their clients where they are and their marketing and spending some money. Like, we're all afraid we don't spend any money. We don't charge enough money. There's this whole money story going on. That is the work that you should be doing right now. The work on your money blocks, the work on your scheduling and time management and why you don't show up for yourself, the work on your finances and why you don't show up for yourself and you make excuses about it and you tell yourself you're not good at it. That is the work. The people pleasing, the needing, the abandoning everything in your business that would have you on stable ground and solid footing right now with money in the bank, that you abandoned to go get gold stars by being available 24/7 to your customers and doing all the people pleasing work. And I'm looking at my notes because I just wanted to make sure that we talk about this. And guess what? That stuff is uncomfortable. It doesn't feel good. But you can learn to manage your thinking and you can learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable, knowing that it is a means to an end to where you want to go. And I really, I love the concept that discomfort is the currency of your dreams. And I want you to take a really hard look right now. If you're like, why am I in this place again? Why am I always in the place of being vulnerable, getting caught with my pants down when it comes to my money, my finances, my business. Why am I there yet again? I suspect that the reason is you're not willing to do the stuff that you think feels uncomfortable or scary or that you don't know how to do. So you don't do it. You hide from it. You procrastinate on it. You put it off. And here's the thing. You may or may not, and your business may or may not meaning you, hopefully every one of us survive physically the coronavirus. Like that's a really scary threat. We have the actual issue of we could not survive it physically, right? But barring getting sick from it, what I'm talking about is your business may or may not survive this pandemic. But what I want you to be thinking about is a lot more of how do I want my business to look after this? And is this going to be the last time, the absolute last time that I let myself get caught in this position? Is this going to finally be the thing that makes following through and showing up and running my business like a business and really understanding my finances and really charging and really the way I need to and really running my business like an emotional adult? Is it going to make it actually so important that when the new wears off of what we're dealing with right now, or the whole thing goes away and business gets super busy again, because it will, are you going to go right back to the old habits all over again that you have been practicing for years? And will you just be sitting waiting for the next catastrophic event or industry change or anything else to happen until you find yourself in this position all over again? Okay, so there is work that you need to be doing right now, and I seriously doubt it's cleaning out your samples room. Here's how you know. If you have a cash reserve for 3 to 6 months sitting in your bank account right now, and you're still dealing with clients and taking care of them and able to function pretty much business as usual, with the exception of being able to meet with people in person, then absolutely work on the things that would make your life better from an organization standpoint. Maybe put a few systems in your business, maybe work on that website. But if you're in the place right now where you're like, once again, I'm not charging enough, I don't know where my next client is coming from, I don't have my finances in place, I'm not running my business like a business, I'm not following through, I live like a creative, or like even like a creative kind of child or toddler. I do what I feel like doing. I don't do stuff when I don't feel like doing it, even if it's on my schedule. I don't follow through. I'm not great at running a project on a timeline. I'm constantly letting my clients down or changing the end date because they know they can't really depend on me to finish parts and pieces when I say I'm going to. And I'm always just hoping that that amazing installation or the finished product is enough to make them not mad at me anymore for the way I kind of run my business like a train wreck. That is the absolute work you should be doing. And it's not just let me find a new financial program or system. It is let me do the deep, deep mindset work. It's personal work. It's not business work. I keep telling people you don't have a business brain and a personal brain. You've got one brain, and the blocks you have personally come right over into your business. They are the things that are making you not want to be uncomfortable, not feel rejection, not fail, not be embarrassed, not put yourself out there, not make a mistake, not fit in, not look sophisticated. All that story in your head is coming from the personal work you need to do. And if you're one of those people who are like, hey, Toby, I don't want to do the woo-woo and I don't want to do the personal stuff, just give me the business tools and let me go to work, they don't matter. They're not going to work for you. And they haven't worked for you already because you've had plenty of them. I know you have. I know some of you have taken my courses. You've taken other people's courses. You've been to seminars. You've read books. You're telling me like, oh yeah, I really was going to do that profit first thing, or I really did plan to launch a scalable product or do that business thing or get my finances in order, but you didn't. And the reason you didn't is 100% a personal block, personal development work. And you've got to be willing to get super uncomfortable and get into the nitty gritty of what it is that's blocking you. And here's the thing. I'm not telling you to go into a whole bunch of therapy. Therapy is amazing and we need therapy at times. This is coaching. Coaching does not take you into all the stuff in your past and all the people you need to blame for, well, I learned this from my family, or my dad was really terrible with money, or my mom was this, or, my background is this. None of that matters right now. Those are old stories, and yeah, they did influence you, but the way to shift is to take responsibility and just be like, let's be clear. Let's just be completely honest. The reason my finances are a mess is because I never look at them. I'm lucky if I look at them once a year when it's time for taxes. I'm not looking at them every single week. The reason my client work is a mess is because I don't do what I say I'm going to do. I don't set a schedule. I don't stick to it. I don't follow through on it. I let people down all the time. I put all these things I should do in my calendar that I absolutely know I'm not going to do. So I'm lying to myself and everybody else when I say it's going to happen. And I've got to start operating my business like an emotional adult right now. And that is the deep personal work, okay? So that's your work. I see a lot of hearts. It's tough love. This is the work I do on myself. I'm not just pointing fingers at you. I'm doing a webinar on, I think it's Thursday this week. And I'm going to teach you the 5 or 6 things I've learned about my own business since the coronavirus that are, I'm so happy for them. They are deficiencies. They're areas we weren't following through. There were things we needed to change. And just like you, the coronavirus didn't cause them. The coronavirus is like an X-ray machine. It is like we run our business through the coronavirus X-ray and suddenly see all the broken parts, right? And that happens to me too. But mine aren't necessarily the same broken parts as yours because I have been working on a lot of this for a long time. I've been doing the deep mindset work. I've been doing the deep financial work, the showing up for myself work, the really tightening up my business for years because I had all the same problems. They're normal. They're not the fun part of business while you're doing them, but it's really, really fun to have done them. It's really, really fun to find yourself in a position with money in the bank and to be proud of the things you're doing and then still be able to go, oh, here's some other areas that we had deficiencies and now we see them and now we can work on them. Okay, so look for a free webinar this week. If you want to fix your mindset, if you want to have a scalable business model and courses and programs, which is the symptom you're fixing on that one, you'll have to do the mindset work too, or you'll never actually do the work. If you want to do any of those things, come work with me. I'm teaching my Digital Marketing for Creatives live inside the Design You program, April 6th and 7th. I'll teach you all about digital marketing, how to reach your client, how to make the offer, what to sell them, how to market it, how to show up with it, how to price it, what it looks like, what it even means, what it all is, what tech you need, all of that stuff. I'm going to teach you all that stuff. I have all of those courses. I have a financial course in Design You. I have all the things that fix the symptoms. But the most important thing I have the tools to help you with your mindset. Because again, you could take every course me or anybody else ever created, and it's not going to work if you don't get the deep personal blocks fixed. So you get out of your own way and you start showing up in your business like an emotional adult. Okay. So let me know where you're stuck. You're welcome so much. All of you saying thank you. I feel like it's my job. I'm this direct with myself. So I'm not just telling you guys this to point fingers at all. And everything I tell you is with so much compassion because we all do this. We all make the same mistakes until we learn not to make these mistakes. And so I feel like if I can be the guinea pig, the voice, the honest voice that's saying what everybody else is either thinking or trying to hide, trying to hope nobody notices, if I can just shine a light on it, then we take a ton of the shame away from it. We take the secrecy away from it and we take responsibility for it. And then we get to the root of the problem, which is actually where all of the work starts, right? So that's my job for you. That's what I've got for you today. I'll let you know when that podcast comes out. It is a truth bomb episode all the way to the core. It's what I just taught you, but more. How you're in your own way. And if you've been believing, I don't want to do the deep, uncomfortable, weird, woo-woo personal work, why does that have anything to do with my business? I want you to take a really hard look and say, oh yeah, she's right. I have one brain, not a business brain and a personal brain. I have one brain. And if those blocks are in my own life, they're in my business too. And no wonder I'm not able to show up this way. Okay. So I'm here for you. I've got you. I'm going to keep creating paid content. I'm going to keep creating free content. I'm going to keep helping you shine a light on where everything is right now broken. And I want you, every one of you, to get so much leverage on yourself right now to really fix this once and for all. Because a lot of us are wishing for this to be over sooner than later. And I get that too. I'm with you. It is not fun at all. I've kind of hit a wall of how many hours I can be in my house. But what I do know is that the problem when this is over, whenever that is, especially if it's sooner than later, so many of you will just go right back to operating the way you already were, and you'll just be sitting there waiting again for the next thing to come along that's going to eventually, if it doesn't do it this time, push you completely out of business because you're not really running your business the way you should be. You don't have it buttoned up. Okay. Big hugs to you all. Thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. I can't wait to hear you. Like, seriously, don't be afraid to send me a message. Send me a message. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know if you think I'm crazy. I want to know if you agree with me. I want to know if this struck a nerve. I want to know if this makes you feel shamed or afraid or anything, because that feedback helps me so much help all of you and help all of our community, all of our industry of designers, all of the creative industry, because this isn't just for designers, y'all. This impacts event planners and architects and landscape designers and photographers and anybody who is in the creative realm that is dealing with the same type of issues and mindsets that we're dealing with every single day. Okay, so I want your feedback. And I'll see you guys again really, really soon. And I hope to see you on my webinar. We're going to be talking about it tomorrow. We'll tell you how to get on there. Thank you. I'm glad you guys love the podcast. And I have a ton of stuff coming for you on the podcast as well this week. A bonus episode this week, the one I mentioned, my regular episode this week, which is about time management. And then the episode next week is about money mindset. So like, I've got you. I'm bringing it to you. Please listen. Please let me know how I can help you. See you guys soon. Bye for now.